being out there.
My word. And you mentioned that maybe gumboots could have been the order of the day. Well, gumboots would be the order of the day for everybody. Just noticing there, Tim, that Glenn Coleman is on the ground for the Bulldogs, and he's straight into the ruck. Atkins obviously using a new ball too, the umpires at the start of each quarter. A real battle for possession there. And you talk about courage, well, you really can't deny the fact that all the players have got courage. And it's tested. There's Scott Wind having a rest, and Terry Wheeler electing to put big Glenn Coleman onto the ground. Kennedy, who hasn't done a bad job for the Bears so far in the game. Pelfreyman, Bain, gets his foot to the ball, goes in towards the centre. Wallace leaves it behind. Oh, not a bad gather by McIver. Couldn't quite get away with it. Leslie's kick has been marked by Steve Wallace. Toohey under pressure. Still McIver forces the ball inside 50 metres for the Bears. Campbell kicks it back outside. White, little handball. McIver, one way, the other. Hand pass not bad. Bain's short kick is all right, and the mark is taken by Shepherd. And Shepherd, I would think, would be too far out to score. The player on the mark is about 60 metres from goal. So Shepherd is going to go for the big torpedo punt kick. Oh, he's got onto it. Have a look at this kick. Into the square. Still a chance. Big Lawrence Shackey. Hamilton gives the hand pass away. Pelfreyman. His kick has been smothered. Quite close to the behind post. It trundles over for a throw-in.
What a kick that was by Shepherd.
That was a huge kick with a wet ball on a wet ground, and the Bears have opened this court exactly how they have to play this game. They've got to be prepared to get in there and get that hard ball.
McPherson out of defence for Footscray. Goes towards the outer side of the ground. Clears 50. Grant a forward, back at half-back to try and win a kick. A vacant centre wing. There's about 4 players forward of the centre line here. Worsfold. Short passes. Good use of the ball. He had time to drop it, Hamilton. And then he hoists it high. He just blazed away with that one. That was no good for the forwards, and McPherson did well for Footscray.
Hamilton has a knack or a bad habit of just kicking around corners all the time. He had time then to straighten up a little bit and do a little bit more with that ball.
Troy Maloney. You could see the water fly when he changed direction. Kick by Maloney to centre half forward. Charging Ballantyne takes the mark. Kick by John Ballantyne to full forward. Back behind. Snap for goal, and it was by Mansfield from behind.
Yes, the Bears pushing their way forward when they go into the forward line, and the Footscray team have a little bit more class when they go forward, but the Bears, if they keep persisting, then they're going to have a chance.
Campbell kicks it in short. Champion has taken the mark in the back pocket. Richard Champion, one of the more reliable players in the Bears' defence, to be considered to be one of the more experienced players also. Now here comes Hart. Hart gets out of the back pocket, kicks it towards the wing. Here's an opportunity for Martin Leslie. He kicks it off the ground, which is not bad in these conditions. It sits right near the 50-metre line. Attempted little tap behind. Oh, Zanotti's coat hanger on Toohey. And that might liven the fans up here at Carrara. Toohey goes down, but he gets up pretty quickly. But that would have been a bit of a stinging one for Bernard Toohey, who's been a very strong player in the AFL over the years. There's another free kick. Leslie and Liberatore have a little to do behind play, but the free kick will go back to Stephen Wallace at left half back for the Bulldogs. Short kick. Coleman can't mark. Bears have got the numbers. Bain gets away from Liberatore, forced to kick with the left, not all that effective. In goes Hart and Worsfold. Bain close to the boundary line. You can see there the boundary line only 2 or 3 metres away. The kick to half forward. Oh, Wallace tackled heavily back there by Leslie, and Leslie telling the umpire that there really wasn't much in it, but the free kick will go to the Footscray player. Wallace's kick in towards the centre. The ball comes to the back. Coleman hasn't read it all that badly. Off to Collingham. Oh, Steve, it'll never come back to you in these conditions. Hand pass all right. Grant into an open goal. Touches it once. Nearly went to touch it again, but completed it with a goal.
tonight on 7 Nightly News.
Wet conditions blamed for an horrific accident near Ipswich, claiming the life of an elderly man. Home video of Dr. Death talking another terminally ill patient through his suicide technique. And Melbourne police caring for a lost youngster.
Full details of today's top stories on 7 Nightly News.
Monday, a new love for Caroline, the princess of tragedy. And this week, the loneliest woman in Britain.
Real Life, 6:30 weeknights on 7.
5-3 goals. So the first goal of the second quarter goes to Footscray. Maloney. Up to half forward. Champion dropped it. Grant becoming a real danger to Atkins, who can kick long. Gastev and Hawkins. Hawkins kept him out. Kolonyuk off the ground. It didn't make it from about 10 metres. He's got another chance. It's still in the field of play until Hart rushes it through.
On days such as this, really all you've got to try and do is get yardage with your kicks and then work to the next point of where the ball falls and then push it forward again. And it really is an ugly day for football, and the skills won't really be on display today.
Matthew Campbell kicks in for the Bears. Coleman well placed, a punch from behind. Liberatore, he lost it in the tackle. Stanfield, been a good player. Worsfold, intercepted by Wallace, who read the play beautifully. Approaches 50 and picks off a man well. And right in front is Grant, who is killing. Young Chris Grant, selected in the Victorian state squad. And hasn't he deserved that selection? And already he's kicked 2 goals, coming up for number 3 from 6 kicks.
There's Richard Champion lined up on Chris Grant. He really is giving him far too much latitude.
He's taking a long run up at this. Distance about 35 to 40 metres. Looks pretty good. No, just away to the right. Actually, that's 2 goals, 3 for Grant.
Footscray supporters up here in Queensland coming along to watch their charges. Kick in. Oh, he looked as though he picked that man out. And it's Stanfield. Short kick, not bad. McPherson is marked. Inside 50. Actually, the player on the mark is just inside the 50-metre line, so Steve McPherson will have to kick the ball a very long distance. That kick falls in short. It's White. White for the Bears. Not a bad kick either, out towards the wing. Oh, 3-on-1. Under a lot of pressure there was Windsor, but the umpire saw fit to award a free kick there against Mansfield, and Windsor takes it. He's kicked towards centre-half forward. At the back is Coleman. Got the chance here now. Big Glenn at centre-half back. Gathers his thoughts and kicks it out near the wing. Grant. Oh, look at that for a big fellow. Hand pass. Should have probably been with the left. McPherson just fumbled. Still Grant. Oh, and he forces it up inside the 50-metre line, but Gastev this time beats Hawkins and marks on his chest. Looking to get it away pretty quickly. In the finish, it's not bad. He finds Kennedy at half-back. Kennedy's kick. Oh, there's a player. 30 metres on his own. It's Shepherd. One touch on the ground. Has a good look further afield. Kicks it high in towards the forward pocket. No, Foster's there for Footscray, and he marks safely on his chest.
Well, Shepherd should have done more with that. He had so much time. Kick by Foster, back to centre wing. Shepherd, oh, good mark with a wet ball. And he's done some pretty good things since he's been on, off the interchange bench. Into Bain, further across the ground. The Bears almost look reluctant to move forward. Socket forward by Shackey. There's a chance for McIver. He got rid of his opponent. Up towards the goal square. Coleman got back to punch it through. 3-1 the Bears. 5 goals, 7 Footscray. And if Footscray can win this, 3 wins interstate in their 4 trips this year in the first 9 weeks would be a terrific performance. Who would have thought that? And they'd retained second spot on the ladder. And for years, they haven't had a great reputation for being good travellers.
Gee, what about this guy, Drew? You mentioned BOG. He handled that with aplomb, Chris Grant.
Well, he played his early football in Dalesford, and it has been known to rain up that way, Robbo.
And there's a good mark taken by Worsfold. Away he goes to Campbell. Campbell's kick, long, centre-half forward, Windsor. Look at Coleman getting back to help out the defenders. His kick smothered. There's his mate from the Swans, Toohey. Both ex-players in Sydney, now playing for the Bulldogs, and that kick is good. It finds Del Rey wide between wing and right half forward. His kick, gathered brilliantly by Ballantyne, another very exciting young Footscray player. His kick up towards full forward. Gastev and Hawkins. Gastev doing very well on the Footscray captain, and he knocks the ball over for a boundary throw in, and Johnny Gastev frustrating Dougie Hawkins, I'm sure. And there's a bit of a chat to the umpire as we see the Footscray interchange players. Rowan Smith and Scott Wind exercising on the boundary line. David Bain can't get clear of that tackle. It's deemed as too high, so the little Brisbane Bears rover, David Bain, covered in mud. He's a real goer, isn't he?
Working very hard for his kicks under extreme pressure from Tony Liberatore.
And his kick is good on this occasion, out to White at left half-back. Kick by White, drops in short. Coleman, well, it bounced off his chest and went out of bounds. Should have grabbed that mark, and he knows it.
White's an exciting young player from Northern Territory, and I think in time he'll develop into a very fine player for the Brisbane Bears, but at the moment his inexperience does mean that he does make some very elementary skill errors.
There's Liberatore at the base of the pack. Atkins went without it. Grant's got it again, but it'll come back to a free kick to Footscray to Grant. What a game he's playing. From half forward. 1.5 kicks to goal from there. They waited for it, and it was knocked out of there by the Brisbane defence. A couple of clever taps. Zanotti tries to go off the ground, cops one for his trouble. Hart, well played by Sean Hart. Up towards centre wing, Foster in front of Leslie, and he takes the mark.
I think that's what you're saying, Tim, about them giving it up, isn't it?
There's those poor skill errors when they kick to the Footscray backmen rather than to their own forwards, putting it into a bit of space.
And this ball is rushed over the boundary line by Hart. Well, they can win the ball all right, and we've seen it so often with Bain. Plenty of possession, but how often does he turn it over?
But I think it's frustrating for the teammates, isn't it? You know, when you get it, when you work too hard to get it and then give it up too easily.
Very frustrating for the fellas. And in today's football, players start to position themselves down the ground and everyone becomes offside when there's a turnover.
There's a good mark taken by Ballantyne on the 50-metre line. And we've seen in the Foster's Cup Series this young fellow kick the ball long distances. Well, his task here, we'll have another look at him taking that chest mark. But his task here is a big one, to kick from 50 metres. Good look at what's confronting him. Kick is not too bad, right up near the goal line. It was inaccurate and eventually goes over for a behind. So that's his first score for the day, John Ballantyne. He's just the one behind. Footscray would be pretty determined to win this game. Got off to a fantastic start to season 92. And 6-2 after 8 matches would be a good result, I would feel. Tap on. Oh, tackle there by Stanfield on Worsfold, a little too high. Worsfold's kick summed it up pretty well and got it quickly onto Noonan. Noonan's kick, well done. Pelfreyman playing in the number 2 Guernsey. Usually worn here at the Bears by Peter Curran. Stephen Wallace. Back he goes to Mansfield. Mansfield's kick across his body. Nearly taken there by Stanfield. Picked up by Pelfreyman. Can't get away. You're going to be penalised for throwing it. Now Footscray, the advantage is with the Bulldogs. Away goes Wallace. His kick off the side of his boot. Grant with skill. Look at this young... Oh, he's a freak. 192 centimetres. The third time I've mentioned that, but gee, you just marvel at the skills of the big fellow. The Bears get it back out towards the wing. Noonan can't quite pick it up inside the boundary line. A throw-in will take place.
And the Brisbane Bears have shifted Richard Champion off Grant and they've put Mark Zanotti back onto him.
Well, Zanotti, whose greatest asset is his pace. Not to the front. It went past Liberatore, but he steals it off Hamilton. Keeps it going Footscray's way. Well played. And Worsfold sees the ball out. Liberatore picks some mud out of his ear.
Worsfold's done a very good job on his much taller opponent, Stansfield.
Terry Wheeler looks on. I suppose when they looked at the draw and all these away games at the start of the season, they might have thought, well, gee, we'll be coming from behind. But at the end of all these interstate trips, they look like being second on the ladder, which is fantastic for the Bulldogs.
Gee, that was a bit iffy. Simon Atkins probably summing it up as well as anybody could have there. A little kick off the ground, and it was deemed as kicking in danger. Hart's kick in short finds Hamilton. Hamilton goes on with the business and kicks it near the 50-metre line. No mark. Yes. Pay the mark. Oh, the man had a grab at it, Green, and brought it to ground. Bain gathers it. There's a good diving effort by Noonan, but it had hit the ground. Mansfield in quickly. Oh, the boys are getting excited now. And I don't think they'll be cool at all after this little gathering. And a free kick picked out of it by umpire Anthony. And it's going to Matthew Mansfield.
Back to centre wing. Beats the pack. Hart first back there. Back to Campbell. A kick on the turn. Far too long for him. It's gone way back into the crowd.
It's very difficult to kick those balls around the corner with a wet ball when you've got to be able to place the ball across your foot. And Matthew Campbell then struggling to kick the ball around the corner.
Rowan Smith comes on the ground. Stanfield leaves. Punch away by Campbell from Delray. Goes to White. Into Leslie. His kick smothered. White kept on going, but Liberatore's under his feet. Oh, terrific stuff by Wallace there. Around the corner by Shepherd, who hasn't been their worst player, and he missed most of the first quarter.
Took Stephen Wallace a little while to get up too, Drew, from that. I think he copped one in that exchange.
He really flew at that ball. Well, flew at ground level. Slid into it. And he gets back there to punch this one out. Off the ground, Atkins to gain some ground. Now, when do you start defending a lead, and how big is what's a decent lead in wet weather?
Well, I think a two-goal lead in this sort of weather is a decent lead. But I was just thinking about Heath Shepherd. He burst onto the scene a number of years ago for Collingwood, kicked 2 bags of 5 goals, and really after that he's never been able to reproduce that same form.
No, he's a very patchy player. Little kick off the ground there, finishes with Pelfreyman. Away to Leslie. Leslie's kick. Foster could have nearly infringed. Attempted kick off the ground by McPherson. The ball at the back. Opportunity for Kennedy. His kick ineffective. Off the ground by Campbell. Goes past Leslie. Chance for Hamilton. Well tackled by Campbell. And surely that tackle has got to be rewarded. No. This is the umpire. Throw it in as Coleman comes off. And big Scott Wine back into the action.
These conditions just don't lend themselves to any type of finessing there. Shane Hamilton, you've just got to get the ball by hand or by foot as quickly as you can.
Oh, well done, Footscray. Wallace. Baxter bumped off the football by Shepherd. In goes White. Oh, good gather by Shepherd. Handball away to Hart. And in the back. So Heath Shepherd will take the free kick for the Brisbane Bears. And they've been able to get the ball around the 50-metre line quite a few times in the second quarter, but they just can't break through. They've kicked 3 goals at quarter time, and so far in this second term, they've only managed a behind. Lawrence Shackey there for the Bears. He's one of their goal kickers. Windsor kicked the first goal, and young Nigel Pelfreyman kicked their other goal. Wind and Leslie.
Bit of an arm wrestle there. Comes out to Pelfreyman. Up towards the goal square. Chance here for the Bears if they can extricate the ball here. But Campbell did pretty well. Those gloves must work. Actually, surely this is an occasion when the gloves might be useful. I'm not convinced of their use on most days of the year. Liberatore. Still, probably get a letter from Tony Campbell, and he's marketing them. He'll probably tell me all their virtues.
I think they're handy when you're washing up the dishes, Jim.
Not bad, Tim. There's a picture of young Green. Wine doing the ruck work, gets a big thump at it. Foster, well done, Peter Foster, and kicks it back near half-back. There's a free kick picked out of it, and it looks as though it's going to the Bears. Play on now. Advantages with Bain. He thumps at it, up towards full forward. Kennedy held, didn't have the footy. Kick off the ground by Wine, goes close to the boundary line. Nearly a gather there by Hamilton, appealing for a kick out of bounds on the full. Throw in the right half forward for Brisbane Bears.
When you're talking about players that burst onto the scene, we're talking about Heath Shepherd a moment ago. That fellow there at the screen a moment ago, Hamilton, burst onto the screen for Geelong a number of years ago.
Pelfreyman's snapshot goes across the face of goal and hits the behind post. So we'll have a boundary thrown in that left forward pocket. Gee, it must be frustrating for Robert Walls. He's watched his reserves kick just 3 goals 5 in a game of football earlier today. And so far, in nearly half a game, the seniors have struggled to kick 3 goals 1. There's Chris Grant for Footscray. Out wide. Gather there was by Green. He got it back to Leslie. Leslie's little kick is all right. Finds McIver. McIver. Left foot kick towards centre half forward. Pelfreyman. Oh, what a great dispossessing job there by Liberatore. And sets it up for McPherson to be able to run away from centre half back, kick it in near the centre. Atkins giving away a free kick, a little bump. Umpire was not all that far away from that, so a fair decision. Little kick into the centre, puts Leslie under pressure, handballs it back over the top. Here's a chance for Worsfold. Worsfold's kick up near the 50-metre line, bears mark, and a good one taken by Windsor.
That's a great kick into the forward line, isn't it? Into space to the leading player.
Well, it gave him every opportunity. Windsor goes for the big torpedo punt kick. Oh, that could have nearly been paid. McIver, no, Hamilton. Snapshot for goal by Shane Hamilton. Goes across the face, out of bounds on the full, and what looked like a spectacular effort. We're going to have another look at this attempted mark by McIver, and he nearly got hold of it at the third grab, and play goes on at the 50-metre line for the Brisbane Bears. A free kick may go to Nigel Pelfreyman. No, it's going to Green. No, it is going to Pelfreyman. 50 metres from goal, too far out to score. And pretty ordinary kick in the finish into that right forward pocket.
I don't know that a torpedo punt on a day like today is a kick-to-kick. They're very hard to mark at the best of times, but on a day when it's very wet and boggy, perhaps down the ground when you're coming going for yardage, but when you're kicking into your forward line, I think you're much better off to kick a drop punt.
Wine dominating in the ruck. McIver. Here's Liberatore benefiting from Wine's dominance. Overrun by Cameron. Delray's there. Off the ground by Campbell for the Bears. And further out of defence for Footscray, but straight back onto the chest of Sean Hart. Gastev running off Hawkins, and he's brought him right up the ground, so now we have only 2 players in one half of the field. John Gastev, the back pocket player, up on centre wing. The kick towards the 50. Great gather by Wallace. His kick back towards the centre. Campbell waited. Worsfold, Campbell. Zanotti now. Back towards the 50, and low down the mark is taken. Shane Hamilton.
Playing well.
Goes for the short pass, and inside the 50 is Bain. It darted away from Liberatore.
Liberatore was caught out then, he was on the mark.
Bain far too far out to score. He knew it, and all the Footscray players knew it. And Leslie might still be too far out. They've had about 3 possessions to go about 8 metres.
Wouldn't mind measuring that kick, Tim, whether it went the required distance.
You wouldn't need a metre rule.
No.
So this will test Martin Leslie. He'll be kicking from about 47 metres. Oh, it's a good effort.
Kick.
It's a beauty. It's home.
At BP, we like to think our new service stations are the best in the world, which is why our special fact-finding team is constantly checking, as unobtrusively as possible, how well our stations are maintaining the standard. Thank you. We're pleased to say the results have been very encouraging. But why not come and check us out for yourselves? BP, on the move.
Baxter gets the ball out of the centre for Footscray. A good long kick. Kolonyuk in the pocket. Grant. And the 2 Footscray boys just allowing the ball to bounce over the boundary line. There's a good look at the scoreboard here at Carrara, which indicates the Bulldogs 5-8 lead the Bears 4-1. Plenty of Foster's advertising.
I wonder if the Bears look around for all this geeing up, push, go Bears and all that. There are plenty of messages there.
I think they're too busy. Here's Smith from Liberatore. Smith, what a good kick off the left foot's a goal to Footscray. And again, it is Tony Liberatore. Tim, those things that he does, they don't really get acknowledged in statistics, do they? But by gee, they're valuable stuff, aren't they?
Yes, he's a very valuable player. He tackles, he gets the ball in low, he uses his handball very constructively. And Smith, who's just come on the ground, a snap with his left foot. And as so often happens, one side pushing the ball forward, trying to get a goal, about 10 minutes, finally get one, and the other side take the ball down straight away for a goal.
And Liberatore's in the action again.
Celebrating fatherhood. Father for the first time overnight, and he's having a whale of a time. Delray, a bit fortunate then. Kick up towards half forward. Green out number 2 to 1. Atkins. Green applied a good tackle.
There's a good tackle then by Green, a desperate attempt. Atkins, had he got around him, the Bulldogs were away. Ashley Green from Warragul in Victoria spent a bit of time at Essendon, unable to get a game there and drafted by the Bears at the end of last season.
Well, Shacky's ex-Essendon, Green's ex-Essendon. We counted up how many got the flick from out there. Here's Baxter. Oh, beautiful pass. Here's Smith again. Has a shot from 50 metres, a great kick. Oh, just offline.
He was about to answer you there.
Yeah, so I didn't give a chance to answer.
I don't know that they got the flick. They just went on to further their careers, Drew.
Oh, mate, well said.
Well, sometimes it's a little bit difficult. I mean, the greatest example of a player like that in the last 12 months has been Stephen Handley from Geelong, who actually was playing here and now is doing very well with Geelong, having gone from Queensland to play football in Western Australia. So, anyway, we'll get back to the football here at Carrara as Peter Foster gathers it quite nicely. Hawkins chopped it off. Wallace's kick, centre half forward. Delray marks, sliding in.
And Hawkins, who started in the forward pocket, has moved up the ground in pursuit of some touches, I think.
So we're getting pretty cold. Delray too far out to score. Kicks a long one in towards full forward. Grant can't quite mark. Here's a chance for Collinuk. He's got the football underneath. And Valentine doing a appealing job for a free kick. But the umpire not having anything of that. Umpire Brian Sheen, as we have a look at the Footscray bench.
Yes, both Stansfield and Coleman are on the bench there, and Footscray have got a smaller running side on the ground as the ball is only been at ground level.
Steve Collinuk, his opponent for the day, is Sean Hart. Wind, tries to get the tap out, comes back towards Collinuk. His hooked kick, not all that bad actually, just missed by perhaps half a metre, and through for a behind to the Bulldogs.
So it was a pretty short quarter, lasting just 27 3/4 minutes. And Footscray added to their quarter-time score of 4-4 by kicking 2 goals 6. And the Brisbane Bears in that quarter just added 1 goal 1. There's Danny Noonan, who's done pretty well in the centre on Atkins. And the Bears, well, are not too far out of this, even though they played a quarter there which produced just 7 points. But you'd have to say that Footscray on top, the burrowing at the bottom of the packs, led ably by Liberatore, and the forward play of Chris Grant has been something to see in these conditions. He has been absolutely fantastic. So at half-time here at Carrara, very wet, Footscray 6-10-46, Brisbane 4-1-25.
Monday on 7 Nightly News. Domestic violence has become so bad that 11,000 Queensland men have been ordered to stay away from their spouse. 1 in 10 women suffer physical abuse. In a special report, Tracy Challoner details the fight to stop domestic violence. Monday on 7 Nightly News.
Just lately, upheavals in the car rental industry have left lots of people high and dry. And I'm here to tell you what we at Thrifty are doing about it. To help you out, we've just put 400 brand new cars into major airports. We're making our best rate, our corporate rate, available for business travellers who pay with any recognised credit card. And now you can rent this V6 Mitsubishi Verada with a phone from only $82 a day. So next time you're travelling interstate, stay ahead of the changes. Be smart, be thrifty.
This is my home. I'm proud of our history and our culture. This is my Continental. Really proud of it too. Come and see why.
The Green Shop sale is now on.
These are our new style Malay pots, $25, $15 and $10. How about this, a complete range of citrus for $12.50. These electric coloured hybrid impatiens, sun or shade, now $4.50. These Malay pots, $25, $12, and the super special sets of 3, $12. Why not grow your own mushrooms now for only $10.50?
The Green Shop, open 7 days from 8:30 to 5:30, 661 Sandgate Road, Clayfield.
But their premiums are already too low. This is incredible. Who are these people?
It's GIO Australia, sir.
I know that, but now they're giving discounts just because your home and contents are on the one insurance policy.
I thought it was rather a good idea.
What? Plus a new for old option on both home and contents?
And discounts if you're over 55 and retired.
What are we going to do about it?
Well, you could retire, sir.
Phone GIO Australia for a better deal on your home and contents insurance.
Come and holiday in my Hawaii. It's an experience you'll never forget. And Continental makes it so easy. We'll win your heart too.
At Midas, we're so confident about our exhaust workmanship, we'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're not 100% satisfied with the repairs, we'll refund all labour costs. You still get Midas-trained experts, a written no-obligation quote and top-quality parts. The Midas money-back guarantee, 100% satisfaction, or we'll refund all labour costs. When we make a commitment, believe it. And believe this, for exhaust brakes and shocks, nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
When I finally give this game away, I don't want to be worrying about money. Sure, I've got superannuation. But is it enough to live well on? So, I had a chat with my bank, Westpac. Their financial advisors really helped me plan for my future. Even showed me how I can top up my super. Now, thanks to Westpac, I'll have plenty to live on. I'm really looking forward to putting my feet up.
Monday, a new love for Caroline, the princess of tragedy. And this week, the loneliest woman in Britain.
Real Life, 6:30 weeknights on 7.
That's the position at half-time. Footscray 6-10-46, leading Brisbane 4 goals, 1-25. Goal scorers for Footscray. Grant has 2, singles to Collinuk, Wallace, McPherson and Smith. And for the Brisbane Bears, their goals have come from Leslie, Shackey, Windsor and Palfreyman. So the Brisbane Bears with the job ahead of them, trailing by 21 points at half-time in these wet conditions on the Gold Coast. A game being played in sunny conditions in Melbourne at the MCG between Richmond and the Sydney Swans. Let's take a look at some highlights from the second quarter.
Murphy lays it off to Kelly. Kelly can go to Brunton. Brunton can pop it over the top. He gets the ball away eventually. This is Kapler. He's normally a very good kick. And this is no exception.
Smith should get there first in front of McGovern. Lavata being pushed over. The Richmond ball. Kicked up towards the square. Griffiths, great mark.
Campbell, who's been very busy. Smith down to Edwards. He's been lively since coming on. Maxfield, 55 metres out. Vacant goal square. Dunkley's going back, not in time.
Certainly very productive. Oh, good mark. Might get one here. Kaplan takes the hand pass, shoots at goal and gets it.
Here's Lees. He's collected. Down he goes. Mitten Connell to Lawson. Big surge by Sydney.
Some stations taking a replay of that game after this, so if you don't wish to know the half-time score at the MCG, look away now. Well, there's plenty of occasions in a game of Australian football where we wonder whether the man in white has got it right, and we all think we know better, but we give them a chance to explain their situation, and here's Bruce McAvaney with What's Your Decision?
Yes, and today we're looking at the advantage rule. With us is Dennis Rich, who umpired the 1990 grand final between Collingwood and Essendon. Suffered last year from an Achilles injury and only umpired in 5 senior games. Dennis, you're hoping for better things in 1992?
Yes, certainly am, Bruce. Hope I'm injury-free for this season.
OK, tell us about the advantage rule. This is when a player is interfered with and a team is allowed to go on with the football, or, in fact, the football's brought back.
Yes, it's it can be a controversial rule at times, but the idea is that if a team would be disadvantaged by bringing the ball back, then the idea is to call the play, let the play go on, provided that the play is continuous.
OK, that's the key, provided that play is continuous and players don't stop because of the whistle and therefore a disadvantage themselves.
That's right.
OK, let's have a look at some examples. It's the best way of finding out exactly how this rule should work. And this is Brisbane versus Richmond at Waverley Park.
You can see the interference out of the Richmond player. It's just about to occur by the Brisbane player. The ball's his handball. Now he's interfered with, being retarded. But the play's gone. The ball's gone to advantage to a teammate, and we would disadvantage that side if we were to bring it back. So we would call play on. OK, so Richmond gained the advantage there and play on in that situation. All right, looks like from the same game. Similar sort of thing there. Player interfered with. The Richmond player now. You can see where the Brisbane Bear player's been tackled high, but the player's continuous. Brisbane Bear players picked that up, and they've therefore gone to advantage. So once again, we would call play on.
And in fact, Brisbane gold from that advantage there. Now, also Richmond again and Brisbane. Play on again here?
Yes, it is. See the free kick that occurred there. Now he's waiting for the ball to come down. Of course, the ball's loose, but it's gone to a Richmond player. We would call play on there also.
Well, certainly in two of those cases, the first and the third, there was no Brisbane player around the Richmond player, and therefore no one was disadvantaged, and away they go, taking advantage of that particular rule. The way that teams now play on at all costs, it would be a pretty tough thing now to bring the football back, I'd imagine. Well,
it certainly can affect the play of the team because it helps them create the loose man. So the onus is on us to ensure that we call it quickly. OK, let's give you the opportunity at home to make your decision on this advantage rule. We'll show you 3 examples. Dennis won't be giving anything away before the commercial break, but we will, in fact, give you the answers afterwards. So here's the first one. Rendell tapping the ball on here. McIver's being interfered with by O'Dwyer. Now, should the ball go back to McIver, and should he take the free kick, or should the advantage be paid and allow Brisbane to go down the ground? So make your decision on that one. Now we go to the match also from the Foster's Cup earlier this year, Melbourne versus Footscray. Lyon being interfered with by Tui. Now Sean White's tucked it under the arm and away he goes. Now this is an interesting one, I reckon. I've looked at this a couple of times and I'm still not sure of the answer. Should White have been allowed to play on, or should the ball come back to Gary Lyon and he take the kick? So make your decision there. You can see Tui, maybe, oh no, I won't give a clue away. Tui did appear to stop there, but let's go to Darwin. It's pretty hot this day. Gavin Brown and Pios here. Now, Brown caught high, obviously. Lehman away. Should that go back to Brown? Should Brown take his free kick, or should, in fact, Lehman get the ball and be allowed to charge away for Collingwood? What do you reckon? We'll take a break and we'll tell you the answers after this.
To develop the most advanced four-wheel drive in the world, we tested it in the most rugged country on Earth.
This week at Jeans West, an amazing free jumper offer. A free jumper with any pair of jeans or pants, but only while stocks last.
I'm talking Jeans West.
Jeans West free jumper offer. Try it on fast. Try it.
Who's making innovative kitchen appliances like this Toast and Crumpet toaster right here in Australia? And energy-saving, long-lasting cooking appliances like this stainless steel fry pan? And can you name the Australian company designing world-class appliances like this cordless express kettle? Or the first with a 12-month replacement guarantee on all their products like this monitor iron? Sunbeam, of course. Owned by Australians, making for Australians.
Top performance demands top nutrition. That's why the Australian Institute of Sport and Kellogg developed Sustain.
One last effort, Rob.
A scientific balance of delicious grains, fruit and nuts, complex carbohydrates, fibre, protein, vitamins and minerals, controlled sugar, low fat and low salt. The fuel for lasting energy and better performance.
Nice work.
Kellogg Sustain keeps the energy in your day longer.
Television, the most powerful means of communication. That's why the big boys tell it and sell it on TV. But before they became TV advertisers, many big boys were small boys. Have you ever wondered how those smaller organizations made TV work for them? Or has some so-called expert told you,
sorry, you're not big enough for TV?
He doesn't realize what hundreds of advertisers spending millions of dollars with Channel 7 Direct know. That you can't know until you call 7 Direct. Call Colin. Call Deb. Call Jamie. Call Sharon. Call 369-7777 and ask the experts. Whether you've $5,000 or $1 million to spend, ask that question.
Is that 7 Direct? 369-7777? Can I afford TV advertising?
When real hunger hits me, now I can always go for a Snickers ice cream bar. An icy cold Snickers. Fantastic smooth ice cream. Lots of fresh roasted peanuts and thick, creamy caramel. All covered in real Snickers milk chocolate. Boy, that's what I call real satisfaction. Snickers ice cream bar. We've got satisfaction down cold.
Welcome back to What's Your Decision. I hope you've made it at home. Regarding the advantage rule, Dennis Rich is about to look at the first of the 3 examples and to let us know, in fact, whether the advantage should or should not have been paid. Let's go, Dennis, and the first one is from Waverley Park.
We can see where the Brisbane Bear player was interfered with there, and Rendell has tapped the ball on. Now, in that instance, it should have been an advantage call and play on.
Well, you can see the disappointment on the Brisbane players' faces there, but so not back to McIver, but play on.
Exactly, and we've disadvantaged the Brisbane Bears by pulling the ball back.
OK. This is the hard one, I thought, the Lion incident with Tui and Sean White.
Free kick there to Lion. Now, because the play wasn't continuous, and that's the main criteria, the play has to be continuous. In other words, if the whistle hadn't blown, the play would have just continued on. Now, in this instance, because of the whistle, the players have stopped, and I would dare say that there probably might have been some doubt as to whether...
White had got the football in front of Tui.
Yeah, exactly.
OK, so that went back to Lion. Well, that's an interesting one. OK.
Not continuous.
Not continuous. This one from Darwin. Now, Lehman, is he allowed to go on?
Yes. Now, as distinct from the last one, free kick there is too high. The player's continuous, immediately picked up by Lehman, who runs off. OK, so Collingwood allowed to go on there. Well, that's pretty straightforward, isn't it? Yeah, I think so.
Not the toughest rule to adjudicate, but they're all pretty hard when you're out there in the middle.
There's a lot happening in packs at times, and sometimes we don't always have a wide enough vision, and probably accounts for some of the reasons when we do get it wrong. OK, Dennis, thanks for your time. Good luck for the rest of the season. Thank you, Bruce. Stay injury-free. How did you go, and what's your decision this week? Hope you got 3 out of 3.
Dennis Rich there with Bruce McAvaney, and it'll be interesting to see how the umpires go in the second half here up in the wet at Carrara, where at half-time Footscray leading the Brisbane Bears by 21 points. Let's take a look at what's coming up on 7 Sport in the next week or so. And next Sunday, the Australian Touring Car Championships from Eastern Creek in Sydney. Next Sunday, check your local guides for television telecast times. State of Origin football, Victoria versus Western Australia at the MCG on Tuesday week. What a game that should be. Check your local guides there. And 7 involved in the Rugby League test this year. Australia versus Great Britain. And the first test on Friday, June the 12th. It'll be bigger than Ben-Hur, and we hope you're with us. We'll be back here for the second half of Footscray in Brisbane after a short break.
See Dave McNamara moved interstate?
McNamara? Ah, the Brown Kingswood. That's the one. Still as good as new. Thanks to the man with the golden spanner.
Yeah, sure.
Well, you know, A few too many of our regulars have been moving on lately. We'll pick up some new people soon enough.
Hope so. Still, not much we can do about it, is there?
You could win a Hyundai Sprint, an overseas holiday, or a weekend away. Shop at your local Super Sweepstakes store and pick up tickets for your chance to win thousands of dollars in prizes. Watch Channel 7 at 10:55 a.m. Monday to Friday. Starts June 1.
Imagine island land for sale from $13,950 full price. Residential building lots only minutes from Brisbane and the Gold Coast from $13,950. Repayments from $54 per week. Phone 222-7322 now.
The Green Shop sale is now on.
These are our new style Malay pots, $25, $15 and $10. How about this, a complete range of citrus for $12.50. These electric coloured hybrid impatiens, sun or shade, now $4.50. These Malay pots, $25, $12, and the super special sets of 3, $12. Why not grow your own mushrooms now for only $10.50?
The Green Shop, open 7 days from 8:30 to 5:30, 661 Sandgate Road, Clayfield.
They've found it. Something even better than ice cream. Ski's Soft Serve Soft Frozen Yogurt. You'll find it creamy, soft, full of real fruit pieces. Ski's Soft Serve Good and Natural Soft Frozen Yogurt. Ski's Soft Serve. You'll find every flavour tastes just delicious. Ski's Soft Serve. Do yourself a favour. Try some now.
Finally found the perfect fishing spot. I've caught the most delicious fish in Australia here.
Really? Never heard of it before.
No, well, not too many people have, mate. Just wait till you taste these little beauties. The best fish you'll ever eat.
Can't wait. Oh, a little bite.
Steady on.
Must be a big one.
Bird's Eye Light and Healthy fish portions now have more fish than ever.
Yeah, they're a little bit hard to land, though.
Bird's Eye Light and Healthy. One taste and you're hooked.
Up Blockbuster coming up in Adelaide later on, but Adelaide and Collingwood at 5:30 Eastern Time. Check your local guides. Many states taking it live. Second half underway.